Welcome to Medical Sales Live, the #1 resource for breaking into medical sales and building your career.
You know, one of the things that I think when I speak with young people about coming into this industry is, first of all, there's many who are just not aware of the opportunities in medical sales. And then secondly, David, is when they are made aware of that, they limit their thoughts because their exposure, it's only in the sales arena. Tell us a little bit more. You mentioned career growth at Boston Scientific. What does that look like? What does that growth entail, and what would those opportunities be for someone who demonstrates an outstanding competency in their sales role? What's next?
There's so many things we can discuss, John. The opportunities are just incredible. You can become from an inside sales rep and started to use, and again, people think about inside sales and they might think like, oh, what is that? Is that just a job entry? This is the future right now. This is innovation at its best. Think about 10 years ago. How could you sell a medical device through a computer or a phone? We have right now the best technologies to be able to show a doctor that is across another state to show them how to implant a patient or how to implant a technology using the future, using VR, using augmented reality, using artificial intelligence. Those are things that were not happening 10 years ago. So you have the opportunity to start as inside sales. You have the opportunity to become a field sales associate, for example, having a known territory, but still under the guidance of another rep that has more tenure or has more experience. Grow into that territory manager, that sales reps, having their own territory, executing, having the ability of winning awards for your performance, but also impacting more patients every day. But then what else? What else, right? You have the opportunity of becoming a regional manager, VPs. Go to national accounts if you want to work contracting. I want to impact marketing strategies. We have marketing opportunities. We have so many opportunities out there to work. And if I grow enough in urology, maybe I want to try another division. Then Boston Scientific can go. You can go to cardiology, neuromod, electrophysiology, peripheral vascular, endoscopy. So many. So the future is limitless. It's just where you want to be. And where you want to be, you take that self-development in your hands and with your manager, and you can get there, for sure.
Yeah, and I love that you talk about the other divisions, because I think that really speaks to your mentality and your approach to the business, that it's not selfish or siloed. You really look at Boston as a whole, for Boston as what it is, as opposed to only your division. Certainly you've done an incredible job of creating culture there, but I love how the inclusiveness that you've really brought in the other divisions, and you guys have had examples of how you've promoted out into other divisions as well. So you've lived it.
Yes, it is one Boston. It is one Boston Scientific. I represent the Urology and Pelvic Health Division. Under urology, we have a division for endourology, for stones, right? And all the stone diseases with a lot of technologies to treat that. Pelvic floor reconstruction. We have prostate health, which is the one I'm representing today. We have prosthetic urology, which is part of the men's health division. But I go outside, and if I have atrial fibrillation, I have a device that can help me with Boston Scientific. I have a patient or a family member with pain, we have neuromod stimulators that can help. So it's one Boston. If it was not for Boston Scientific, I wouldn't be here today as an overall, because the cardiology division shares some important information about some initiative that we're doing with the Medical Sales College. And I was like, hell, I want to do that. I want to partner with them and do a different type of approach, but something to impact a lot of patients and people out there also as well.
I just love your enthusiasm. So what would you say if you've got a student or someone who is considering becoming a student at the Medical Sales College, and they're teetering on the fence, what would you say about this industry? What would you say about their attendance at the college? What counsel would you provide to them?
The competition is strong. The more capabilities and behaviors that I can develop throughout my career when I'm starting, the better position I'm going to be in this competitive industry. The Medical Sales College is providing you tools to get there even faster or accelerate your growth. And partnering with companies like Boston Scientific in that route is just going to get you more position and better position against others. It's not the same graduating from college and going straight. It doesn't mean that you don't have the behaviors and capabilities. It doesn't mean that David is not going to help you develop or get you there, or the Boston Scientific team. But if you come with some skills that are transferable because of the medical sales college, you're positioned for more success.
Wow, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So, David, when you think about why you're here today, right, and what's led us to this opportunity to have some time together today, I think it centers around the passion that you and I both have around DE&I and inclusiveness, and really expanding our diversity within our industry and our marketplace. Tell me and tell the audience a little bit about your passion and mission at Boston Scientific.
I think it's evident that I am different, right? I am not from here. I am from Puerto Rico, from Latin America. I was telling you earlier, I dream in Spanish, I speak Spanish, and I try to eat Latin food every day. I need to adapt to the culture, to the difference in the marketplace. The customers are different. They're not all alike. The patients are different. They're not all alike. We have to represent the patient universe that we have out there, the physician universe that we have out there, the peer universe that we have out there. And the only way we can do that is by bringing more D&I to the companies. For me, it's not a check mark only, because I can say I made it here, I'm a director of sales, so we're good on the metric. No, we're not. We need to continue to increase. And it's not only about Hispanic, Latinos, it's how do we bring more LGBTQs in the community, more employees, more Black employees, more Asian employees, more veterans, more Hispanic, Latinos. It's all about bringing people that represent the world and the market that we are. It's not about just bringing a color or a culture. It's bringing the right talent, the best talent available. I'm not here to hire someone just because of the color of their skin. But if we have the opportunity during an interview process, during the recruiting process, during the interview process, to have a representation in large amounts that represents the world and the U.S. market, we will have more opportunities to bring diversity. Whites, Blacks, Hispanics, Asians, LGBTQ, and other. We have the opportunity. When I saw the post about the Medical Sales College and the scholarship with Black employees or Black candidates with Bridge and Sam Conaway, it blew my mind, right? Because I want to bring the same for Hispanic and Latinos in the organization. We don't have a lot. Not only, I'm not talking about Boston Scientific, I'm talking about every company out there. We have some. Hispanic and Latino represent the 60 million in the US. This is the largest, fastest minority in the United States of America. We need to represent also that in our companies, in our jobs, in our sales force. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to partner with Medical Sales College to look for ways to increase representation in D&I for Hispanic and Latinos, to try to partner to create scholarships. And I don't know if this is the moment that we launch it, but we want to bring scholarships. We want to create a scholarship program emulating what our cardiology brother division did, but for Hispanic and Latinx in the US, and be able to support them, support a program education after college that can give them all the tools to succeed in the medical sales industry. And hopefully, they can join Boston Scientific in the future.
Absolutely, and we are super excited for that opportunity to nurture and to provide that foundation, that clinical foundation, that business acumen that is critical for them to succeed as they move forward in their career, teaching the EQ and the IQ at the Medical Sales College. And so tell us, how are you helping Boston Scientific identify those individuals within your role today and for and with your region sales managers?
Yes, that's an excellent question. So one of the things that Boston Scientific has are the employee resource group. We have the Bridge for Black employees, we have Pearl for Asian and vice, et cetera, et cetera. For Hispanic, we have HOLA. So HOLA is Hispanic Organization for Leadership Achievement. When I joined the US team in the field, we have different chapters, but we never had a chapter for the field. So I created and sponsored the field chapter, a remote chapter where we share experiences for Latin and Hispanic employees, development opportunities, mentorships, community activities, physician activities, because again, our universe, we have a lot of physicians that speak Spanish. How do we talk to them? How do we bring them technologies? How is more about not only translating a brochure, but bringing initiative dedicated to Hispanic Latino population? And it's through that which I started developing mentorships and knowing more people that look like me in the organization. But how can we get them to a level of, supervisor, manager, director, have more of that diversity that is going to outperform every competitor? And that's why Ola has helped me be with those candidates, with those employees that represent Ola. And Ola is one of the ones that is helping me, go with this process with the Medical Sales College and supporting me 100%. One of the things that we're very happy is that in our executive committee for Boston Scientific that reports to the CEO, Mike Mahoney, they all sponsor different ERGs. Our ERG sponsor is Jody Eddy, which is our CIO for the company. And Jody Eddy is not a Hispanic last name. So you don't have to be Hispanic or Latino to help, to sponsor, to be a lead, to be an ally. And that is the culture that we want to create. And they are 100% bought into this program. You look at Megan Scallon and Kristen LaRocca, two successful leaders in the Urology and Prostate Health and Pelvic Health Division. Both Megan Scallon, part of the executive committee, and Kristen LaRocca, you don't hear Hispanic last names there. They're 100% bought in this. So Ola has helped me and others in the organization raise a voice, raise awareness about the importance of D&I for a company and for our customers.
I thank you for your leadership for the industry, and not just at Boston, but what the impact that will have in the industry as a whole. Because just as you talk about engaging with our physicians who are Hispanic or of Latin American descent, think of the techs, think of the nurses, think of the the administrators and everyone else and all of the other areas of the hospital, of the outpatient center, of the surgery centers. I mean, this is a huge population, as you mentioned, and a huge opportunity for us to improve and get better and to find these and source these candidates and to nurture them into higher roles of responsibility.
No, thank you for the opportunity. Not only the opportunity, but believing in this. Again, not for a check mark, because we can partner in other things, right? But this is real. We have lots of success with our cardiology division right now on this partnership. We're elevating this. And what's next, right? Like we discussed earlier, we have other minorities, other groups, other populations that we need to target. Not only about patients, but also about employees. How can we bring more and give a voice? But also, how do we bring that right talent? That talent that you mentioned had the EQ, the business sense, the awareness, the grit and the determination to impact patients, customers, their development, but also if they have that diversity into them, it's going to be a win-win for everyone.
Absolutely. Tell us maybe a little bit too about how you've aligned the communication and the overall strategic initiatives behind this with your sales leadership team. Right? Because we all know that, in your role and your position, you can talk this, but if you don't have the alignment of your sales leadership team, it doesn't have nearly the impact it would if everyone were aligned. Share some of your secrets with us.
I think they've seen that, like we discussed, our population out there is diverse. I think they've seen that this is not about just a metric, that this is something that we need to believe, because our core values in Boston Scientific and many other companies that are listening today, they have company values that, winning spirit, meaningful innovation, collaboration, high performance, community. If you as a leader in a company, or specifically a leader in Boston Scientific, believe in those core values, you need to believe that we need to bring more diversity into the equation. Okay? I think Boston Scientific leadership from day one have raised their hand when things have gone wrong in the world, when no other companies have raised their hands. And we saw that with George Floyd's situation and Mike Mahoney being one of the first CEOs that wrote a statement. They were not thinking about these stocks at that moment. They were not thinking about the stakeholders. They knew it was the right thing to do. Did Boston Scientific stock fell? No, we're performing better than ever, but our value is still there. And I think that's what the leadership is seeing. The other thing is, recently we had members of the executive committee, Megan Scanlon, Jeff Mervis, Jody Eddy, listen to physicians, Hispanic and Latino physicians, tell them, we're different. Our customers are different. It's not only about translating something, it's about talking to the tia, the aunt, or the abuela, the grandma, because in this culture, we bring everyone to the office. How do we talk to them? How do we speak to them? We have patients implanted all over US and the world that only speak Spanish. If we don't have representation to tell them, hey, you just were implanted by a Boston Scientific device, this is what you can expect. Let me help you to the process. Any other questions? En su idioma, in their language, we're going to lose patients. We're not going to treat everyone out there. And I think the most important thing is I'm not here to compete against the other company. The patients are out there. Let's talk to them. Again, 60 million Hispanics in the US. Why should I focus only on what is the competition doing? I need to take market share. The market is there. Let's grab it.
I think this is a perfect demonstration of your cultural values, right? Of having that patient first and really embracing inclusiveness and diversity and bringing that home and not checking a box, but living it and really being intentional about bringing that into your culture.
Thank you.
It's infectious. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks for tuning in to Medical Sales Live. Remember to like and subscribe to this channel for the latest in all things medical sales.